This is not a DPS showcase. It is a video on how to perform Lyncis rotations in her various team comps.
The first team we'll talk about is the meta team of Lyncis, VoidPiercer and GrayFox. For the benefit of those who do not have max characters or their matrices, we start off the rotation with 2 discharges preloaded. You begin the rotation on Lyncis weapon, and then you discharge cancel GrayFox, use GrayFox skill, discharge VoidPiercer and use VoidPiercer skill, and then you switch back to Lyncis. You might have to jump cancel her discharge and press her skill, and then you do the normal attack chain. Keep normal attacking and pay attention to Lyncis skill because every 6 seconds you get to use her sub skill. While you are doing your normal attacks, you can press the sub skill and it won't affect your normal attack chain. Once GrayFox cooldown is about 1 second-ish, you can jump cancel her discharge, use her skill, discharge back into VoidPiercer, use VoidPiercer skill, and then swap back to Lyncis, use her skill again, and the rotation repeats itself. For the purpose of explaining these skills, in this video my rotation goes a little bit slower, but in reality the rotation goes much faster the more familiar you are with their skills. In my opinion, this rotation is fairly simple. You just gotta keep Lyncis on field, DPSing while paying attention to her skill cooldowns, and buffing her with VoidPiercer and GrayFox. Next, we have the Altered Frost team of Lyncis, VoidPiercer and Nola. I figured some people may still want to run this Altered Frost team, so yeah, here we go. Again, we start off with double discharge preloaded. First, you jump cancel Nola's discharge and use her skill. Then you perform her normal attack chain while waiting for the Flash Rider to be ready. Do Flash Rider, and then discharge VoidPiercer, use VoidPiercer skill, swap back to Lyncis and use her skill. Pretty simple. So do your normal attack chain, pay attention to the sub skill, and once sub skill is ready, use it. We want to let Lyncis be on field DPSing as much as possible, so once you cast her last sub skill and when Nola's cooldown is just about to be ready, you can swap to Nola, jump cancel her discharge, use her skill, and then perform the Flash Rider when the cooldown is ready. Then swap back to VoidPiercer's discharge, use her skill, and the rotation continues with Lyncis skill again. It's a very straightforward team comp with Lyncis as your main DPS, with the 2 altered characters buffing her in the background. Next up, we have the Benediction team of Lyncis, Fiona and GrayFox. We start off the rotation with 2 discharges preloaded, and for Fiona's skill you can use Hydro Focus plus Wellspring. Wellspring being on the second skill. So you start off with discharge cancelling GrayFox, use GrayFox skills, swap to Fiona, use Fiona's skills, and then back to Lyncis and use her skill. Once you use Lyncis skill, you can use Fiona's Wellspring and then start your normal attack chain. Just remember to pay attention to Lyncis sub-skill and use them every 6 seconds when they're ready. Continue your normal attack chain until GrayFox skill is about to cool down, say 1 or 2 seconds, then you jump cancel GrayFox discharge, use her skill, swap to Fiona, use her skill, and then swap to Lyncis and use her skill, continuing the rotation with your normal attacks and sub-skills. This may seem a little bit complicated, but what you want to prioritize is Lyncis skill and GrayFox skill. Fiona is really there just for her execute and buffs, so don't worry if you miss her skill 1. If you bind Wellspring to skill 2 like I did, you can buff her at any time it's ready, so swap back to Lyncis as soon as you can. I'm not able to display Fiona's execute on these characters, but yeah, when you're challenging Bygone, that's where you see her real value. Next up is the team of Lyncis, VoidPiercer and Yanuo. For this comp, we don't really need to start off with any discharges preloaded as we will be starting from Yanuo's weapon. So you use her skill, use her 2 additional sub-skills, and then hold and release attack while doing one more quick attack into VoidPiercer's discharge, use VoidPiercer's skill, and then discharge cancel Lyncis, use Lyncis skill, and continue with your normal attack chain. By now you should already be paying attention to her sub-skills and use her sub-skill whenever it's cooldown. Right after using the third sub-skill, we jump cancel Yanuo, use Yanuo's skill, hold your dodge to conceal as you move backwards, and then hold again, quick release to toss the javelin. Once the ice is shattered, discharge into VoidPiercer, use VoidPiercer skill, and then swap back to Lyncis, jump cancel her discharge if you need to, use her skill and perform the normal attacks again. You'll repeat the same rotation from here onwards. Does it seem complicated? I'm kind of used to it, but maybe that's because I have so much experience with Yanuo. Next, we have the team of Lyncis, VoidPiercer and Roslyn. For this comp, we will be using Roslyn's trait as it is more valuable with her on the team, and we have to start off with double discharge. So we start off with jump cancelling Roslyn's discharge, use Roslyn's skill, discharge VoidPiercer, use VoidPiercer skill, and then swap back to Lyncis, use her skill and perform the normal attack chain. By now you should already see the pattern as similar to all the other comps. You want to buff Lyncis with both of your weapons and then swap back to her to deal the bulk of the damage. After using her third sub-skill, pay attention to Roslyn's cooldown. Just jump cancel her discharge, use her skill again, and then discharge into VoidPiercer, use VoidPiercer skill, then swap to Lyncis, use her skill and continue your normal attack chain. The rotation then repeats itself from then on. Here's a bonus team, Lyncis, Nan Yin and GrayFox. If you have Nan Yin or GrayFox matrices, you don't really need to start off your rotation with double discharge preloaded, but for video purposes, we will start off with 2 discharges preloaded. Use Nan Yin's skill and then jump cancel GrayFox discharge, use GrayFox skill and then swap back to Lyncis and use her skill, beginning your normal attack chain combo. So for those that are familiar with Nan Yin, in her rotations, she needs to discharge every 15 seconds, but now with Lyncis on field, you can't really do that. Instead, you just focus on DPSing with Lyncis, use her sub-skills, until you notice GrayFox skill is about to cool down, say 2 seconds, you then discharge Nan Yin, use 2 normal attacks, just to load GrayFox discharge, jump cancel the discharge, use her skill and swap back to Lyncis. Use her skill and continue the normal attack chain. Alternatively, you can just skip Nan Yin's discharge, wait for GrayFox skill to cool down, jump cancel GrayFox and then use her skill, bypassing Nan Yin's discharge entirely. After Lyncis' third sub-skill, pay attention to Nan Yin's skill cooldown, and when it reaches 2, you can discharge Nan Yin, use Nan Yin's skill and continue the rotation again. For those that want to use Lyncis with some standard weapons, we now have Ling Han in the standard pool along with Yulan. Preferably for this team, you want to start off with 2 discharges preloaded as you need to use Ling Han's discharge at the beginning. Start the rotation on Lyncis' weapon and then discharge Ling Han. Once you see her hand motion downwards and the swords appear, jump and use her skill, and then discharge Yulan, use Yulan's skill, and then jump cancel Lyncis, use Lyncis' skill and then begin your normal attack chain. Same old, just pay attention for Lyncis' sub-skill and use them when they're ready. When Ling Han's skill is about to cool down, discharge Yulan, use Yulan's skill and then discharge Ling Han. Same thing when her hand points downwards, jump and use her skill, and then swap back to Lyncis, use Lyncis' skill and then continue with your normal attack chain. As you may have noticed, the skill cooldowns for this team is a little bit mismatched. So what you want to prioritize is Lyncis still doing the main DPS, use her sub-skills, but when Ling Han's cooldown is about to be ready, that's where you discharge Yulan, discharge Ling Han, use their skills and swap back to Lyncis. Is it the best? No, but usable? Yeah. We can't expect too much as they are standard weapons and it is 2025, about 2 years from Domain 9 already. So cut them some slack, will ya? All in all, I hope these rotations are helpful for you to pair Lyncis with. They are not intended to be the max DPS comps or rotations that some other talented players have put out there, but think of it as the simplest form of rotations you can perform with Lyncis. Hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see y'all in the next one.